Welcome to Twin City Talks. I'm your special guest, Zach Shaw, here from Winston-Salem, sitting here with Suzy and Tim.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for hosting us.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm excited to get here and dive in. So today, we were talking about just having a fun conversation about being in high school, how y'all have had kids, and as well as y'all have had your own high school experiences. And with my background being a high school football coach and track, figured it's a great topic just to talk about, especially what's going on. So kind of like talking about it, like what high school did y'all attend?
So I went to North Forsyth.
I'm a Parkland guy.
Okay. I like that. I'm a Reagan guy, so we all have great different perspectives.
Yes.
What class were you?
So 2001.
2001.
89.
Yeah, they're dropping their ages out here, guys.
Yeah.
So 01, 89, 21. So you sit there, that's a 12 years different there and 20 years here. And I don't want to do the math between you and I.
I'm not good at math, so.
Math's hard.
Yeah, math isn't my strong suit sometimes. But looking at those different gaps, like what were some of the trends? Like when, we look at least hairstyles or kids, these kids nowadays bringing back the 90s looks. Like what were some of the trends for when you were in school?
I want to say, God, high school. First of all, high school feels like a lifetime ago. I want to say it was going into the breaking in like the crop tops and stuff like that around that time.
Yeah, the lacy hand glove things without fingers, and the hairstyle for the women were as big as you could do.
Mine was the opposite.
Yeah, it was Aquanet was ruining the environment. Jams, if you remember those, I think they call them culottes now, but that was the thing. Hard rock was still big before Nirvana killed it. And a lot of hot neon pastel colors.
That was that was gone by the time I was.
See, and that's the thing, though. It's like now we're having these parties, and that's kind of the themes.
Back,
like this is what people want to do. Yeah. You hit Goodwill up, and you try to find an outfit to match it. I think that's the crazy aspect is looking at all these different what we thought were these fads or what we thought were cool. And then you look if someone pulled up looking in that neon blown out hair.
I'm like, oh, what is this?
I had some long curly hair and had a man bun going on because I thought that was pretty cool.
I had a mullet.
You had a mullet. The mullet's back. Yeah. If you didn't know, the mullet's back.
Goodness.
It is.
I think that's awesome. And so while thinking about your high school experience, prom, like y'all did proms, y'all had dances. How did that look for y'all?
I only went to the senior prom, and I don't know. I thought it was the actual prom was boring. Like there wasn't a lot to do there. You took a photo, you danced. That was about it. Most of the stuff was before. There was not spike punch. We didn't have that. But most of it was the before, like the dinners before, and then parties after was more of the highlight. Less about the actual prom.
I went to 5 proms.
Oh my goodness.
So I moved here between my 9th and 10th grade years. Right. So all of my childhood friends were still in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And then I have no problem making friends. I walked into my first day of Parkland in the 10th grade like I had always gone there. Hey man, how are you? How was your summer? Me too, man. And I know when I walked away, they're like, who the hell was that? But so I was a sophomore in high school and went with a senior to a prom in West Virginia. I was a junior in high school and went to with a friend to the prom in West Virginia, and then the girl that I had just broken up with, but I'd already promised I'd go and already had my tux. So here, and then my senior year, I was, believe it or not, engaged to a girl.
Oh, wow.
And went to both proms because she was up there, both proms with her. Yeah. But we had broken up before this prom.
I'm always breaking up with people right before prom.
It wasn't me. Well, that one was me. The other one was me, but it was in a need. But so yeah, they say you spend back then. Now it's even more.
Yeah.
You spent about $1,000 for a prom. So yeah, and I loved every one of them because to me, high school was a social club. I am a very social person. I was part of every clique.
Oh wow!
It didn't matter who they were. If you go back to the Ferris Bueller, if you're familiar with that, the dweebs and the jocks and the stoners, and even though I didn't do any drugs, I've never done any drugs. I still hung out with the people. My senior in high school, I was the last class in 1989 that both juniors and seniors could leave for lunch.
Yep.
And so I had 3 lunches because Parkland had 3 lunches. Yeah. And I had study hall with the teacher that I was the teacher's pet for another class. And she says, just check in once a week. And I'm like, okay. So I'd go to lunch one with my friend Todd, come back and go with my friends Wes and Adrian and Danny, and then go back to school and go with Britta and Sherry. So to me, high school was totally my social club and my playground.
Yeah, my senior year, that was my favorite part, was getting to leave in between and go out to lunch and then go to the Career Center.
Yeah. So the only way you can do that now is Career Center. Yeah. But we could actually leave for lunch.
We probably could, but I just remembered.
But only no, because mine was 89 was the last year juniors and seniors could do it. The 90 only the seniors, and then the next year nobody could leave unless you had that. Yeah.
So that's like one of the big reasons why I talk about high school is, again, 2021 year. I was COVID. I was COVID baby for my junior and senior year. So looking at that, like my experience obviously a little bit different, but when I'm looking at high school and we look at the football games, we look at those big experiences, prom. I went to one prom. I went my sophomore year with one of my friends, and I spent a kazoo of money and found out really quickly it's not for me, it's for her. So kind of when you grow up, you figure out that with weddings too. But so my next thing leading into that, like us today, I know we have our social media, but like, how was the way you communicated? How were you in a relationship with people? How was that in high school?
So when I was in high school, that's when email and texting was starting to take off, so we did a lot of that. Pagers were still a thing then.
Yeah.
And then calling, like we would call each other,
Yeah, the only telephone or just driving by. Yeah, we did that a lot. You going to drive by? Maybe. Yeah.
I remember my mom used to tell me she used to sit by the phone and wait till like it rang, just because she was so scared my grandpa would answer the phone. So I love that. While still on the same topic, like recall, what's your fondest memory from high school? Like obviously we heard about your lunches and you never really in school, living the social life aspects of it some days.
And I was also the AV guy for the whole high school, so I wasn't in class even half the time.
Oh my gosh, that was your favorite part, not being in class.
The whole thing. I can't pinpoint anything.
Really?
I loved high school.
I feel like my senior year when we had Spirit Week, like I remember that a lot. We, dressed up. We had the colors, which North is baby blue, maroon, and white, which is a weird combination. But anyway,
it worked.
I think that's probably something that I still really remember.
No, that's awesome. So the last part, I would guess, talking about your perspective of high school is, how did your parents? How was what's the one, the curfew for like your parents? How were you supposed to get home? How were you? What was the rules when you went out with people and stuff? I look at that.
My parents divorced when I was a freshman in high school, and I don't know if they really ever set any curfew or rules. I think they just trusted me to do whatever. My sister was kind of the wild one, so I think she just broke them. So I don't remember ever really. I mean, we just say, okay, well, I'll be home then, and that was about it.
Yeah. When I turned 16, I had a 9 o'clock curfew. And then 17, I had a 10 o'clock curfew unless I was working because I worked.
Yeah, I did work, so
I worked at a Food Lion, and then I turned 18 during my senior year. I was one of the older ones in class. And I asked my dad, I was going to go to a nightclub that was going to just mark our hands because a friend of mine, his mom was in the band that was playing.
Okay.
And I asked my dad, I said, what time should I be home? He says, use your best judgment. I'm like, what does that mean? He says, you're 18, just use your best judgment. So I was home at 11.
So I didn't turn 18 till after I graduated high school.
See, yeah, I was the older baby. I was 18. My dad's favorite line to me, so talking about curfews, I'll pitch in on mine. So mine was about 10 o'clock. I did work at this trampoline park that made me stay a little too long. That's just a little shot at Suzy over there. But no, when I got to junior and stuff, it was more talking about nothing good happens after 12.
Yeah.
So if you're not home by 12, you're up to no good. So that was kind of the thing. Never had, this is the reason I asked this question, never had nothing tracking me. So, but now I want to dive in. We looked at perspectives from high school. Now with having kids that went through the high school, and I know there's probably polar opposite sides of it, how, in your opinion, how was your child's experience in today's high school?
He hated it.
Really?
He hated it. He hated school, period.
Okay.
He was the smartest kid in his class through all of it, but he was the smartest kid in the class for sure. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Third grade, they merged schools, and he realized he wasn't the only one. So there was competition, and he didn't want any part of that, so he just started screwing around and just whatever. He still did okay. He passed everything, and it wasn't like now where they'll pass you because they have to. He still got through it. But he got to high school, and that's when I introduced him because his mom and I had been split for a bit. I introduced him to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And in 10th grade, he decided he was going to switch to foods.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, which we would have called probably, or I would have in my home ec. But it was, home ec in West Virginia was a girl thing. The girls did that and the boys played whatever. Yeah. I think home ec is important for everybody. Anyway, he took foods because he wanted to get into the culinary arts program at Career Center.
Okay.
And he did. And in that, he excelled.
Yeah.
The rest of it, he didn't care. But he did meet his long-term partner in, I think, junior year, sophomore year, junior year, and they're still together and getting ready to have a baby.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So I think we started calling it life skills, not home ec, and it was boys and girls kind of required. So,
And it should be.
yeah.
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 So they call it now these days foods. They call it foods 1 and foods 2.
Interesting.
So they have a home ec class, but now it's like they've broken home ec down to like interior design to all types of stuff. They won't do anything with budgeting. I don't know why.
That's what they
Which
need.
is the economics part. Of
Exactly.
ec.
That's what they really need to dive in on. But so yeah, like those experiences when talking about, how was.
Oh, yeah. So I homeschooled my oldest. She loved it just because she loved the flexibility, being able to sleep in, study whatever she wanted. She always said she loved it, especially because she was kind of later after COVID, but it was still lingering a little. So she's glad she didn't have to deal with any of that.
So we talked about, y'all know how you're very a social butterfly. You're a social butterfly in your own too. But like, how did your kids, especially two different dynamics, where was your kids making the most friends at? Was it during school? Was it after school? Those relationships, I feel like.
Well, since she was homeschooled, hers was through work or activities.
Yeah, I can imagine that one.
His was in school.
Yeah.
And then he worked when he started working but yeah, he, like I said, if anything, he wanted to just be home playing video games, and his social interaction was through his microphone.
I can imagine that,
and mostly with his cousins, my nephews.
Hey, that's good though. That's a good experience. I mean, it's it's hard for kids now these days to make friends because we're so stuck in this.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're going to Instagram people. We're going to Snapchat people.
I mean, I'm glad I didn't have social media in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
I'm so
I'd be
glad I
in so
didn't
much
have to deal with
trouble.
that.
I'd be in so much trouble today if I had it in high school.
Well, I think that's the thing is like those, even for myself being younger, like I just got out of high school, 5 years ago, but I see some of these high schoolers now and I'm just, wow, like this is their thing. I mean, speaking like I was talking to you about like finding your kids and everything, you know, how were you all the parents that use the apps? Did y'all use the like Life 360, the Find My iPhone apps to like keep up with kiddos?
We got Life 360 when Sarah started driving, just because if there was an accident or something. But
Makes
I mean,
sense,
honestly, I never checked it. So
There was something, but I don't remember what it was, and I rarely checked it, and I'm sure his mom didn't check it much either. We trusted him,
yeah, I trust.
and really,
yeah.
I knew where he's going to be in his room playing video games.
I think that's the big key is like that trust aspect. And I think I look at a lot of stuff going on and it's like a lot of parents, either the kids are doing things that make it where they aren't trusted and you have these helicopter parents, or there's the parents that just are not that attached to their child's life. And it's a bittersweet thing, you know?
Yeah.
The kid thinks it's, hey, I'm good. I got all this freedom. But at the same time, it's like, got to have that nursing.
Yeah, I agree.
So we talked about your son finding his long-term partner. How was for homeschool, like, did she date people? Like that high school's your big like ground for that.
And a lot of the people, her friends and relationship connections came through working. I mean, she also worked more because she was homeschooled, so she could work more hours.
Makes sure.
But yeah, a lot of it came through that, I think.
What and this is kind of back going to y'all. What were dates like as a high schooler for y'all compared to what you see in your children?
I mean, I think some of it's kind of the same, like movies, dinners, and stuff.
Yep. It was a lot of, and I hate going to the movies, but
I like the movies.
At that time, I liked being in the dark with the girl, but
For all the good reasons, right?
yeah. I can't tell you what movies I actually watched. I more listened to them, but yeah, it was that, and I mean, I was working but not working. I mean, at the time, I was making like $3.65 an hour, so it was McDonald's. Let's stop here or Wendy's. Wendy's was because they had, you guys might be too young to remember, the Super Bar. So it was like a big all you could eat thing. You pay for one price, and it had taco stuff, Italian stuff. It was great, but it cost them out the yin yang to maintain it, so they had to get rid of it. But we would have taco stuff and spaghetti and salads and all kinds of stuff. It was fantastic, but it was not fantastic. But it was, for us, it was the thing. And then going to the movies, I guess, and
There's a lot of house
maybe
parties, I feel like, for mine.
Yeah, house parties.
Yeah.
Were y'all getting flowers? Were you getting flowers when you went on dates? Were you giving flowers?
Not often. More in like steady, longer relationships type.
yeah, that was. I like to think that I'm a very romantic person, but I am more of a gift. Not a here's some flowers because we're going to go out.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying yes. Here we go. No, like she said, if we were together for a while, because you never know in that first date. This is the filling out process, right? Not filling up, filling out process. And whenever that happens, then if there's two, if there's three, okay, maybe that third one. Here's some flowers. Yeah. Thank you. I just want you to know I enjoy your company.
No, gifts is not my love language, so I don't really care. I'd rather have people's time or communication.
Definitely. Okay. I think my next one is like, driving, getting to school. I remember it cost a whole 2 months paycheck to have a parking spot at the school. Where y'all were able to drive? Were people driving crazy things to school at the time?
So I didn't have a car in high school. So either my older sister took me, I rode with friends. I also lived across the street from the high school, so I could walk if I really had to, which usually I didn't. But
Yeah, I lived less than a mile from Parkland, so
Really?
I still in the same tract of land 40 years later.
I'm not.
And I drove, and it only cost, I think it was $12 for the year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think my last year that I bought a parking pass was my junior year. Paid $225 for a parking spot.
Well, now gas is the issue. It's so expensive.
It's outrageous when you add those two. But I mean, I also, again, went to Reagan. So I had people pulling up in tractors. I had people.
Did you ever ride a tractor to school?
I never personally rode a tractor to school. I had a little farther drive, but I had seen people pull up in tractors, and it was a hoot.
Crazy.
There was one day we had Ag Day. Someone pulled up on a horse.
Wow.
Just rode a horse to school. I think they went and brought the horse down there for Ag Day, but still, like, it's pretty good rep walking in 2019, 2020 coming in with a horse. It was pretty cool for us.
Poptown, the country mecca of Forsyth County.
Well, Reagan wasn't even around when I was in high school.
Yeah, no.
Well,
there was
either.
nothing in Poptown when I was in high
It
school.
was just dirt and hills. I think it's really cool though to look at, like, so, you know, when you went to North Forsyth, when you went to Parkland, like y'all didn't have the choice to go to the schools. That's where you were going. You
had
knew
to
off
go.
rip, this is where I had to go.
Yeah.
Obviously a little difference for you coming in from West Virginia, but like growing up, you went through that feeder pattern. You know, Forsyth County is one of the only counties ish. There's a lot of counties now these days, these bigger cities, but like that you can have choice. Like, and now the process is very obscured, but it comes down to like having choice. You see a lot of schools with these heavy academics, like Atkins, and but then you have all these athletic schools like West Forsyth. You have the East Forsyths. You have the Reagans, the Tabors, and then it just fumbles downhill on that. And I think it's really, you know, it's something to watch when you see these kids now having these options. You see the kids now that I see. I mean, were the same type of stuff you see on the news, the same stuff going on in school, or is this just more because we can see it now and like actually hear about it? Was it
like the violence?
Yeah.
So when I was in high school was when Columbine happened, and that was really the first real incident. And I actually met two of the girls that went there when I was in Mexico over summer, and they were sharing their stories about it, and they got like tattoos with people's names.
There's a guy that lives in Winston-Salem who graduated that year.
And
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
But that was really the kind of first time I was really getting into the media, and it kind of slowly has been increasing. And obviously now it's so mainstream. It's sad.
No, I mean, we've had stuff in our own backyard with stuff like that. And it's really sad. It's really sad. Like I remember, again, even just a few years, if you had a problem with somebody, you went and fought in a church parking lot. Bad that it was a church parking lot, but it was a church parking lot.
But I feel like back then people, like, because we had the police chief on, and he's even hit on it, like people would at least talk, or like it didn't automatically result in violence. Now no one seems to know how to deal with their emotions, and it just results in violence.
Yep.
It definitely does. And, you know,
West Side Story all the time.
Ain't it though? Like it's always he said, she said, and it comes back to that social media aspect of it too.
It's definitely made it worse in some ways.
I mean, you got people calling people out. You have people like going on there and it's saying, I know that's a whole rabbit hole I'm not going to go down.
Say people hide behind a key. We talked about this. People hide behind a keyboard, and they'll say whatever they want. And they normally would never say those things.
No, you got that, and the sad thing is, it's all across the board.
Yep.
Now these days, not even just in high school, you have it going
it's
on
everywhere,
in adult.
I mean, I remember when Tabor was, you know, one of like Reynolds. It was one of the more uppity schools, and now that's where all the bad stuff is happening. Is it?
It's like a lot of the school, like everywhere. It's nowhere safe. It seems like.
See, and I think you made a great point there. Like at one point, Reynolds was the uppity. Tabor was the uppity.
Yeah.
We've went through this like rodeo of like where the best, like, you know, who's the best school, who's the safest school, where the smarter kids go. I will say, brought the Tabor point up. I was there for a little bit. I was there for a year as a teacher. It gets a bad rep. It does. A lot of those kids just need a little bit of love. If you take the time, get a little bit of love, half the problems that's going on, they don't even want to fight. It's more about everybody else wanting to push them to do that. And I think that probably happens a lot of places. I think it comes down to the type of adults that's in the building, the type of adults in their life, and you know, having those positive
mentors.
Mentors, definitely positive mentors in life. But I mean, I look at North Forsyth. You know, North Forsyth. I think it's completely changed probably since from when you went there.
Yeah, I mean, there was still, obviously people would get into fights and stuff, but I felt like the teachers were more involved probably than they are now.
I think so. I think it's a little bit of teachers being fearful of how involved you can get.
There's so much,
Because those kids don't care to come up and slap you right in the middle of class.
Yeah, they never would have done that when I was there.
No, you would have. Your parents would have been on you. Everybody, parents now. My wife taught in an elementary school, and the principal was more concerned about making the parents happy and keeping them calm than she was about the children or the teachers.
Yeah.
She's no longer there. But really the parents, the only thing the parents cared about for the most part was that nobody was disrespecting their kid. I'm like, what happened to you that you are like, because I still to this day, although he's 24, I would say to my son, what were you thinking?
Yeah. I'll do that to Sarah.
Yeah. So my parents, I got in trouble and got paddled, and my dad went down, this is still in West Virginia, not to talk them out of it, just to get the full story of why, and then said, okay. Yeah. And I got paddled.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, my dad was a firm believer if I acted up, like, you think it's bad there. I mean, his go-to thing was talking about fights, being a young man, like you always have that conversation with your dad, and it's just like, he was like, if you're gonna get in a fight, if you're gonna get in trouble, if you get in a fight and you're getting in trouble, if you don't get your butt beat by him, and if you beat his butt, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna do the same thing to you. If it was unprovoked. If it was provoked, I'll go buy you ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my son was suspended 3 days for defending himself, and he didn't get in trouble for that.
No.
And the teacher even said, she sent him to the principal, and she didn't expect him to be suspended. He had been picked on.
Yeah.
I don't know that it happened a lot, but it did happen here, and he turned around and whacked the guy right in the head after
enough's enough.
Being picked on, and and I'm like, you sit down. You're good.
Enjoy
Play
your
your video
days.
games.
Yeah.
But he had done a couple other things growing up, and he was a really good kid, but we all do stupid stuff. And even though there was others involved, I don't care. They're not my kids. You're my kids. You're my kid. So what, let's sit here and give me your phone and give me your console.
Console probably hurt the most.
Because he had a PC too. So I'm like, I'm taking the power cable.
That was my dad's go-to line, I think, for me growing up to take away stuff was take away my phone. Now I'm being a smart butt. I'd be like, that's fine. Here, take my phone. I'd hand it to him all high and mighty. I'm like, yeah, you think you got me. And I'd be like, make sure you wake me up at 6 a.m. in the morning. I didn't have an alarm clock at the time. What he should have done is went and bought me an alarm clock and said, deal with it. What he didn't do was he handed me that phone at about 9 o'clock at night when I was going to bed, and it was like, you're done. You've took your punishment.
I only ever took Sarah's phone away once, and it was because she was being disrespectful.
Yeah. Well, teachers cannot take a kid's phone away now.
Yeah.
That is.
They can't really discipline at all, and that's a little bit of the issue, I think.
Yeah, there is no discipline.
I think it is. Well, I think a big topic, and I'm just going to dive in for a second, is the curfew thing going on in Winston. It's a lot of high school age kids. Two aspects of it. A, do you think it's the necessity behind it? And B, what is like a plausible solution in your mind as a parent? Not as someone in this community, but as a parent. Like, if your kid was out there, what do you think we could do better for our kids, or what you would tell your kid?
I mean, I think first of all, there needs to be more parent involvement. I think that's kind of where this is stemming from, and because my kid wouldn't have been out there because I'm heavily involved, not helicopter involved, but
I didn't have to be. Yeah. He was home. So my thing is there's a reason why we have to do it.
Yeah.
Or why we're having to talk about it.
Exactly.
I don't know that we have to do it, but we do need to address it. At the same time, like Suzy said, where are the parents?
Yeah.
Why do they not know where these kids are? I understand that, times are hard and you got to work 2 or 3 jobs and all this, but somebody needs to keep. They don't need the helicopter.
But like you said, there's apps. They can see where they are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you have to be able to stop and look.
Yeah.
And if you're working,
2 or 3 jobs, it's
2 or 3 jobs, it's hard. But again, where's the rest of your support system?
Yeah.
My ex-wife, my current wife, me, my mother, it was truly a village for
I was gonna say, I feel like that neighborhood aspect's gone. Like, because even if I did something, like other parents would be getting after me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's kind of gone. But I think that also ties into what you're talking about, the fear. Like, people are just so afraid to discipline anybody that's not their kid.
Yeah.
Or even their own kid.
I'd get home and my mom says, Mary Ellen called and wanted to know why Timmy was doing this. And I'm like, because I wanted to. I mean, I'm not being a smart aleck. It's just that's why I did it. So what's my punishment?
But there needs to be more understanding too, because someone that you have a psych degree too. Human brain's not even fully developed, and so they don't necessarily even understand the ramifications of their actions sometimes.
I think so, and I think that talking about the parent involvement, talking about the neighborhood aspect, that was a big part. Like, but at the same time, it's like I look at it like where is places these kids can go. Talking about parents with 2 to 3 jobs and stuff, parents don't want to have pile of kids over at their house. Some parents do. Yeah. Some parents like to have that type of life, like that house. But at the same time, like I feel like we should have more opportunities for our teenagers to have this, so they're not just crawling the streets. They're not just not giving the opportunity to cause all this quote unquote chaos that's occurring. And
teen disturbances, that's what they're calling.
Is that
the
word they're using? But at the same time, where can they go right now? Like you go, okay, great, go to the Y. You got to pay a membership. Yeah, people don't got money for that right now.
We have a lot of parks, but now with everything that happened at Limbach Park,
exactly.
It's but I also have younger kids now, so I can see a difference out of it. Like I don't want to take my kids to park and be afraid they're gonna get shot by some teenager.
Right. And I think that's the scary situation of it all. I think the kids deserve a chance to be kids. I remember playing in my neighborhood, not as a teenager, but as a younger kid. When the lights came on, you came in. Nobody was gonna bother you. But I remember as a teenager, if we were out in the parking lot at Walmart, we're in the parking lot at Sheetz. Yeah. That's what these kids are doing now. They're getting shoot off there. Not saying all the kids out there were doing things perfect, but they were in a controlled environment. Half the time at Sheetz, there's a cop car sitting there.
There needs to be just more anger management, even within schools. That should be a mandatory thing.
Definitely, I think having the opportunity for kids to talk to people like them. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. It's, you look at the dynamics, nobody's going to listen to someone if they don't believe they have a background with that can connect to them. I think that's where it just comes into the adults and the mentors in the world that want to help make the change. We got to be willing to. Then again, this was that carry off of that high school experience. But I think for now, it's we've all had these great high school experiences. We've all had these moments to remember. These kids deserve the same thing. Yeah. I hope that overall, sounds like both y'all's kids had the same experience. I know being a high school kid recently and being in the high school working as a coach, that's my biggest thing is we're teaching life lessons. Parents are with kids for really through their school years, 50% of life, and anybody that's inside of schools with the other 50. So, our high school, I feel like we all have that teacher. Did y'all have that one teacher from high school that you can kind of just pull back on and be like?
I don't really remember. I know I feel like mine was more in college. I had those teachers that I built connections with, but I didn't have ones that were bad in high school. I don't know. I don't know if I kept those connections.
I had a couple of teachers, one especially that I could tell anything. She was my chorus teacher. Also the one that I had for study hall 4th period so I could go to all the lunches. But I went to Winston-Salem State.
Go Rams.
And hated it. So I didn't get close to any of the teachers because it seemed like at the time, because this was the time of Rodney King, not saying the teachers were that way. I just didn't want to be there because I felt like I wasn't welcome. And then I went to an online school. So my biggest regret in life, and I don't regret many things at all, really anything other than I didn't go to college. I stayed here for a girl. I went to Winston-Salem State last minute, didn't want to go to college at all. But everybody I talked to, when I was in college, I don't have that experience. Mm-hmm. I tried my best to get my son to go to culinary school away.
Yeah.
He didn't. He went local, and now he's a sous chef, so I can't really
hate on that.
I can't really hate on that. So, but yeah, teacher in high school was my confidant.
I think mine was more my friends, my parents, my older sister.
Yeah. See, I had the same experience for you. Again, college. I went a semester out in Greensboro. Came home, concussions because I kept hitting my head against people. But came home, went to tech, and then I went to Winston-Salem State. And I think I was at Winston-Salem State for 3 years. Over my whole time, I went to one class on campus. And so I missed that. So I sit around with a lot of my friends, and my brother just graduated App. He talks all about these experiences in college. And I'm like, dude, I worked. And if I got in trouble, I was out getting in trouble, but it was in a good controlled trouble. But I missed those experiences. And I think also my high school experience kind of set me up for not that either, with the COVID thing. So I think it's big time for good experiences for high school kids. And if it's not in high school, they find it in college. But my person was in high school. It's probably one of my coaches, definitely one that kind of just gave it to me real. And there's two different type of people in the world. Either you sugarcoat or you give it to them real. And I think I need someone to give it to me real. I need someone to call me out on my BS and just leave it there.
Yeah.
But is there any other things about high school y'all want to talk about before we close this thing up?
Just believe in yourself. I think that's something a lot gets lost in translation because, that's a tender age, especially for females. And just have more faith in yourself.
I think that's good.
Yeah, just believe in you.
Yeah.
Like that. I think don't be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone. Make a friend that you wouldn't have made a friend with the year before, and find the people that's going to carry you and push you, not the people that's going to hold you back.
Yeah.
I think we're all
with that.
right. You got to have those people that's going to push you, because if the people that's going to pull you down, they'll pull you down and you'll see it really quickly. Or if you don't, you'll be gone. But besides that, I've enjoyed this, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Awesome
Thank y'all for having me come out here.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up. Make sure you follow on social media. Check out the Instagram page as well as the Facebook. If you'd like to, go check out Screamin Music Bingo on Instagram. Little love right there. Come see me in person sometime at Wiseman Brewing. I have to drop that off for myself at least. But anyways, again, thank y'all so much for having me on. Until next time.
Thank you.
You can find us on TwinCityTalk.com and at TwinCityTalk on Instagram
Everything.
and Facebook.
The views and opinions portrayed by guests on this podcast are not necessarily those of the distributors and hosting companies. And if you love this podcast, that's great, but don't think about stealing it. Reach out to us and talk about the content because it is copyrighted.